weep, gonna weep, mini bong, and welcome back to the Justin Network. Today, we are going to be reviewing the Pangu Toys PT-02B Defensive Fort Mighty Miracle God Limited Edition. It's Pangu Toys, the Guardian Robot. So, if y'all are looking at this and being like, isn't that? Yes. Omega Supreme was one of the Guardian robots, and this was just your natural Guardian robot from the G1 cartoon. The Guardian robots were giant sentinel bots that protected Cybertron. They were like peacekeepers. But yeah, this is what this is going to be. And not only is it super special because we're going to be checking this out, it's also our 100 subscriber celebration week. So, we're going to be doing Celebration Week a little bit different than when we had our 50 subscriber Celebration Week. For the 100 subscriber Celebration Week that we're having this week, we're going to be looking at this, the biggest toy we've looked at on the channel. And then there's going to be a special video that all of you all want to check out. Might be able to get something for free. I'm just saying. Just saying, keep an eye out for that. Let's go ahead, open this guy up, see what he's got going on. Wait, something's not quite right. That's better. So here is the Guardian robot, completely out of his packaging now. We have the big boy. This is the new standard of big mode on this channel. I mean, look at this guy. Isn't that sick? So here is our new setup. We weren't going to use the lights and all that quite yet. Wasn't quite ready to unveil it, but Guardian robot was too big to use the other setup, so we had to move to this one. So you guys are getting a little treat early here for the 100. Subscriber celebration week. That is going to be one issue that I have noticed so far. So his arms do come off, and for some reason this one goes in really loosely and doesn't want to stay quite right. I'm sure there's a way for me to make that so it will stay better, but I just have not got around to doing it yet before we, you know, do this video. I literally just opened it. So let's see. So he can spin right there. Also right here at his hand. Looks like that is gonna come off if need be. That will slide right back in as well. He is going to have a bit of a lean. I've noticed that he's a little loose around here and he wants to lean back and forth just a little bit. Probably fixable at some point in time. Just haven't got around to it. So that one's obviously also going to spin around. So they've got that turn right there at the elbow. So he can do a little bit of the robot.
I am the robot. I am the robot.
Right? But yeah, so that's cool. You're probably thinking, hey, JTN, what's up with this one? Looks a little different, huh? Well, and I might have this one on the wrong side. It may look better.
I must make a quick change.
So with this hand, yeah, you guys saw that, right? He's got a little laser pointer there.
He's got a laser gun!
Pretty cool, right? Got that little LED in there. So very cool. This is a lot more loose than I thought it was. As I'm messing with him here, that's definitely going to be something I'm going to look into getting fixed. I'm sure I could fix that in some way. But yeah, and then with this hand, he's got the claws. They are going to open up like that. And they can curl in. You see they got those turns right there. They got that on each individual one. They can go all the way out to there, go all the way in like that. So he does have that on this arm. I do think they look a little better with each on those sides. This one on this side, this on this side. If I seem a little discombobulated for this episode, bear with me. Still don't have a great way to set up the ring light where I need it. So I'm in a bit of an awkward presentation the way I'm sitting to do this. But he will spin all the way around like that. Pretty nice. He's going to be able to spin these arms all the way around as well. Now this does come off. I put him there like that. That does come off so he can turn his arm all the way around. See, this part comes up like that. They'll plug in here. These can also open up like that. So you also could just plug them in there like so. So they could be open like that. Don't think it looks as good, and this doesn't snap down. So I think the best way to do it is just like that. I personally feel that this is gonna be your best move with doing his wing top things like that. So his head can spin all the way around. Doesn't really look up and down much. This part can move. I think it looks best like that. I think that's more accurate to the cartoon with it leaning back a little bit like that. His face shield here will also open and come off, as you can see. Very cool. And while we're here on his head, he has another face plate that you could switch out right there. One with his mouth open. Just an option there. I'm not going to do it right now, but that is an option that you guys have because it comes with that little face plate. So now let's look at his legs. He can kick out to there, can kick out like that. He's got these skirt pieces that fold up and down, as you can see. I would say that most likely some of this white in sun is going to end up getting sun damage pretty easily. So do be careful with that when you are displaying him. So you can see he's got that terrible lean right there. Mean Tennessee lean. I get where you're coming from there, buddy.
Things that make you go.
So, kick all the way back to there, right? Kick all the way up to there. His knee will move out like that. Looks like he's got actual pieces in there. That looks super cool. Oh, boy, that's awesome. Those pieces move up and down, as you can see. I don't know which way they were. I assume they were probably up. I think they probably look the best like that. Yeah, that's the way they were. Okay, so he's got that with his knees. He has no spin at the thigh or anything like that. His feet, let's see if they've got any movement. It's part of his transformation there. Oh, there you go. There you go, ankle rockers. He can do a couple different things there with the way it transforms, but yeah, he does have those ankle rockers there. No spin or anything, but there you go. He's got a pretty solid, big looking foot there. Now, let's take a good look at him. He's got some nice looking bits and pieces in here. His back looks super good. They even took the time to paint some spots in through there, do some different things on there. This is phenomenal looking. I'm sure you guys agree with me. He already looks absolutely magnificent. I think one thing we do need to make sure that he can do, he can, oh yes sir, oh yes ma'am, he can pull out the good old Jean-Claude Van Damme. And look at those little pieces that we get to see all painted up nice. That's great. Way to go. Oh, and look at the bottom of his feet. That's cool. Look at that. Okay. I mean, you could already tell I was loving this figure, but oh boy, I'm getting excited. That's pretty cool. They put a lot of detail into this, and man, am I excited to see what all this guy has in store. I did want to bring him a little closer so you guys get a little bit of a better look at his face there. Looks very, very good in my opinion. Get you some closer looks at some of those details on the upper part of his body. Looking very good in my humble opinion. You see that lean? I think that's going to be one of the worst things about him so far. I know there's a way to tighten that up. There's going to be something I could put there probably. I know I could put like glue or something slightly so that it would maybe stay. If you guys have any tips for me, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments. I'm sure I'll be able to look something up, find something that would work. But that is one of the few bad things I've seen so far about this figure, it seems. So he's not going to be able to turn, like I said, that around. Just turns at the hip there, and that's as far each way as it could go. It's just like that. But yeah, that gives you a good look at the Guardian robot. Like I said, they were peacekeepers on Cybertron. Omega Supreme was a Guardian robot. For some reason, they gave him a different paint job, and he had a name. Don't know. That's like a thing that nobody knows. We don't know if there was more Guardian robots that actually had names and different paint jobs besides just looking like these generic ones. In the cartoon, we really only saw these in Omega Supreme, and in all media since, I'm pretty sure that's all we've ever seen. the Guardian Robots and Omega Supreme. There is other versions of this figure that have different colors. There's like a green one, I think there's a purple one, a different blue one. So there's definitely some options that you could get besides this blue one. I got the blue one though because it looks like the Guardian Robots from the cartoon the most closely. So how about we look at some of these accessories he comes with. So we got this little dude right here. So this little dude right here, don't know that he has a backstory. If he does, somebody let me know. I don't remember this dude in any form of media. He's got those turns right there. Can turn all the way like that. His head is gonna spin all the way around as well. He can kick out all the way up like that. Kick all the way back like that. Does turn at the knee. He's got the spins of his feet there like that. I think they can turn all the way around. Absolutely can. And he's got a little blaster there that comes in and out. And also, he can spin all the way around at the hip like that. Gonna be able to T-pose. And he can, in fact, also do a Jean-Claude Van Damme. Full style. Let's go! Okay, this is awesome. Super awesome. And you see here how he measures up compared to the Guardian robot here. Now, he also comes with some blast effects, right? You see that? This little bit will slide into there. For some reason, the hole is a little too small for it. I'm pretty sure. I think I'm going to have to do a little work on maybe thinning this out just a smidge so it's going to be able to go in there and stay in there. I think. I mean, I could be wrong, but I've sat and messed with it quite a bit and I can't get it to go in. So, you can put that on the end of that like that. It goes on this one pretty well. You put it on that, you have the little piece on the end. That gives you a good little look of what that would look like. But pretty cool blast effects that you could use for some other figures. Always good to have some blast effects out there. By the way, just noticed this also slides out of there. Can pop in and out of there, so that's pretty cool thing that you could do right there. But yeah, that's something that you've got there as an option to do as well. Pretty cool, pretty cool, pretty cool. Let's measure this guy up, kind of see how tall he's actually standing. So the little guy here, he's gonna stand at about 2 7/8 inches. So that means that the Guardian robot, from the bottom of his foot to the top of this wing, it's going to be 11 inches. Now, how about from the bottom of his foot to the top of his head? Going to be closer to probably 10 3/8 inches. So this is the biggest dude we've ever had on the channel, easily. So, how about we kind of start transforming him, see what he's working with there. Alright, here is the Guardian robot transformed. So, you've got a nice little tank here. As you can see, it does have little wheels on the bottom, but they're gonna pick up a little bit. But you definitely gotta do some maneuvering to make sure that it stays where it's gonna lay flat, because that part comes up and down like that. So it's gonna be hard to keep it staying flat, but that is the thing. He's got his two blasters here. Here, he's got the cannon that will turn around, gonna look up and down, all that good stuff. He does have a track to roll on. It doesn't feel like there's like an actual spot made for it to like slide into, if that makes sense. He is a little big for it, I would even say, but it is there. You've got your rocket ship here. It's got a nice little walking platform. Come inside, you can close this bad boy up like so, and there you have the rocket ship ready to blast off. Now, I will say, be careful with the pegs. So, this plugs in there like that, right? Well, I broke one off. I literally was barely messing with it, broke right off in there. It was literally just the first time I plugged it in, unplugged it, was messing with it, it did that. So just be very careful when y'all are messing with that. That is fixable, but it's not gonna be a fun thing to fix. Then you have your little guy here, and there is it slotted around there. It's got like little spots for you to come out of for tiny robots. It technically doesn't really scale well with anything, if we're being honest, but it's kind of the way the original Omega Supreme toy was, so it kind of makes sense. It's hard to make any kind of fort or anything like that that's actually going to be accessible by the other toy robots because they vary in size so much. Even in the G1, to be honest, they actually varied in size even harder then. There's your transformation. Let's measure some of this stuff out. Your tank is going to be from end to end about 4.5 inches. Width-wise, it's going to be pretty close to 2 3/4 inches, maybe just slightly over. The rocket itself is going to be from the bottom to the tippity top. It's going to be about 7 1/4 inches. And let's measure up how tall this base is. It's gonna be around 4 7/8 probably, and width-wise from end to end, this massive base is gonna measure at about 19 5/8 inches. It's long, it's big.
That's what she said.
But yeah, this is the base. It is a little bit of a parts former. It comes apart in a lot of different pieces to make the things. Goes back in a lot of little pieces to combine. A lot of people don't necessarily like that, but I think that is necessary here for the Guardian robot, the Omega Supreme top. It really is pretty decently true to G1 as well, and I think overall it is just something that you kind of have to deal with this toy, and it doesn't bother me any. I'm not a big hater for a parts former or shell former or any of that kind of stuff, and this is a parts former. Let's be real. It takes all the parts, puts them together to make one whole thing. But there you go. You got a nice little look at it here. I love that we're just getting this nice little view here just for me to transform it right back. But I would say that I would leave it in its bot mode over this alt mode. The alt mode is cool. I do think this is nice. If I had two, definitely would love to have one sitting like this, but it takes up a lot of space width-wise. Yeah, it's just taking up a lot more space, and I don't think it looks as cool as the bot mode. So I'm going to stick with the bot mode for his displaying. So I'll go ahead, we'll get him transformed back. As I'm transforming him back, I do want to say one thing that I didn't show off enough. Look how cool that is in there. It's like a little control board, and that's where it flips around. And there's his face, but I just wanted to show you. I thought that was really cool. Don't think I pointed that out enough on the tank mode, or if y'all saw, just wanted to show y'all. I thought it was pretty cool. So now we have the Peacekeeper of Cybertron back in his bot mode. How about we put him up against some other Transformers we've recently looked at on this channel to see how he sizes up against them. First off, we put him up against Legacy United Cliff Jumper from the 4-pack. This is the Prime Universe Cliff Jumper. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. You probably have. That is my most viewed video currently, is this bad boy. That was from our PT subscriber week, putting him right up here against Guardian Robot. Technically, it does not scale right at all. Cliff Jumper is probably like actually up to here. He's gonna be tiny compared to the Guardian Robot in all technicality, but that shows you what he looks like against the Deluxe class. Next up, we've got him up against the Comic Edition Generations Voyager class Shockwave, and you see how they stand up next to each other. Technically, they don't scale right at all in Canon Universe, but that's how they look right next to each other. And if y'all haven't checked that out, he's gonna be on a video I recently did. That is my second most viewed video on the channel. If you like this figure and you would be interested in possibly, I don't know, maybe getting it full, I would keep an eye out on this channel towards the end of this week, Thursday, Friday-ish probably. Maybe another video pertaining to this fella. And last but not least, he stands up against Combiner Wars Leader Class Thundercracker. And as you can see, this was the biggest figure we've ever looked at on this channel. Somebody's beating him out. And as you could tell, the Guardian Robot's bigger than a Leader Class. I guess if you're really trying to put him into a class, it's going to be Leader Class, but he's even bigger than that Leader Class in all actuality. Now, we move on to the rankings part of this video. First off in rankings, we will be looking at functionality. Remember, functionality is going to be about articulation, accessories, accessory storage, posing, all that good stuff. I gave him an 8. So, he does have great articulation. Now, he doesn't have anything at the thigh or anything like that, but overall, he has pretty much any other articulation you would be looking for the most part. His accessories are pretty darn good. I mean, you got a whole extra robot here. I mean, he's kicking it out of the park with the accessories part. Now, his accessory storage, it's an interesting one for you. Had a little bit of a hard time gauging this. Technically, his accessories for the most part combined into him, or they all become a use in his alt mode. I don't know. It's hard to explain, I guess. You guys get it, but I mean, there's this and there's these. These are the only parts that are not being stored on him in his bot mode. I mean, you could put these on there, but they're not really going to stay with him having his hand straight down like that. I guess accessory storage is really good. It's an interesting one. It's kind of hard to grade. You all think about it how you would like. Then lastly is posing. So his posing is where he took the biggest hit. And it's because he's got so many loose joints. Like, I barely mess with him, right? And he's going to, see, you gotta like lean him forward. And then these were kind of hard as well. They've not wanting to stay perfectly in there. I don't know. There's definitely some posing issues. He's not the best. It's going to be hard because he's top heavy to stay exactly how you need him in all these crazy poses. I think the 8 is good. Could you give him a 9? Probably, but I went with an 8. Next up, we'll be grading his transformation. Remember, transformation is going to be about how easy he was to transform, how creative that process was, how frustrating, hard, all that good stuff is on his transformation. And I'm gonna say it was not as difficult or necessarily as crazy convoluted as I thought it would maybe be. It's a pretty good transformation. You definitely needed to take it step by step to make sure you weren't missing any little thing that you needed to do. Like with these parts, they totally are supposed to be up like that because when you push them down like that, they're able to actually slide out when the foot's not in the way, and they turn into those little places where it was like ramps, right? So there's a lot of little stuff that you got to make sure that you did right. I do think the creativity was pretty up there. I enjoyed it. I thought that they weren't necessarily reinventing the wheel here, but they did some cool stuff with this transformation. It is parts forming, and a lot of people is going to say that's a negative thing, where the parts come apart and they don't actually all stay together to transform back and forth. I get it why some people don't like that. I guess in theory that's not a transformer, that's like building blocks, but I'm not taking off for that. I gave him an 8. I think he deserves the 8. I think, you know, could have been a lot worse. I was expecting a lot harder of a transformation, a lot less fun of a transformation. And you know, I was kind of pleasantly surprised with what we got. Now, lastly is going to be his appearance. Remember, appearance is going to be all ranked on how well he looked in both modes, how closely he looked like the character he is supposed to be portraying, which in this instance is the G1 Guardian Robots of Cybertron. I thought he looked good in this mode, looked good in his alt mode. The alt mode wasn't perfect, but it was pretty darn good. And I think he looks very, very similar to the way those Guardian robots looked in the G1 cartoon. I gave him a 9. I think you could maybe argue an 8. I think he deserves a 9. I think he looks incredible. The paint is so good. He looks so good in this mode, just standing right there. Gotta be one of the best looking Guardian robots literally ever, right? Toy wise, like, it's gotta be up there for the best one there's ever been made. I've not personally seen one online that looks better than this. I think that you could argue giving him a 10. I think most of those points that came down from a 10 was in his alt mode, but man, it was good too. It was fun, it was cool, so he got that 9. Alright, so what did you guys think? Did you guys like it? Did you guys not like it? Did you guys think, hey man, should have given it all 10s? Or maybe you thought 889. It's a little high. I think you maybe favored this one a little too much. Let me know in the comments though, because I would love to know your all's opinions. I just want to give a quick little thank you guys. You got me to 100 subscribers. Let's please keep on going. I'm already, I think at the time of recording this, at 111 subscribers, which is incredible. Been growing so fast recently. It really, really means a lot to me. Remember guys, this is our 100 subscriber week celebration. There's another video coming this week. Look out for that on Thursday or Friday. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Not trying to tell you what it is, but there was hints in this video and you should have an idea of what it is and you need to check that out. Thursday, Friday, remember, this week. Alright guys, just want to say I appreciate you. I love all y'all. It really means a lot to me that you're commenting, liking, subscribing. Let's keep up the good work. Until all are one, peace.